some of the most accomplished, successful individuals often feel empty inside. We do so much for so many around us. We often don't give ourselves permission to really rest. The saying, the cliche that everyone's heard, I was giving from an empty cup. It isn't true serving when you're depleted. I am giving myself permission to live out the rest of my life from a different paradigm. I want everyone around me to get the best of me. Well, to do that, I need to nourish me. So welcome everyone to the Nourished Soul. I'm so happy to have this offering for all of you. It's my gift to you. And I love the idea of the nourished soul because so many of us, especially women, I know there are many men also enrolled here, which I'm so happy for every soul to feel nourished. But I think especially for women, we do so much for so many around us. And in my experience working with women and my own friends and students, clients, even when we're not actively doing so much for so many and those around us, in our mind, in our consciousness, we often don't give ourselves permission to really rest because we're often thinking about what it is that we still need to do for someone or something else or haven't done or need to do. And I wanted to bring us together to offer you all a time and a space where you don't need to do anything right now. But during this time together, we're going to practice the art of receiving. We're going to practice giving ourselves permission to allow ourselves to simply receive because there's so much here for you right now. And there's so much that life is seeking to bring to you. But I find in working with individuals, we're so conditioned and taught to be the doers, to be doing something, that gets in the way of the permission that we all need to be receivers. Most of you in your own life right now, you're very successful. You're probably deeply immersed in a spiritual path. You have your own families. You have your careers. You have your work. You have your work life. And so you are in, quote, positions, in roles where you are giving so much to so many around you. And culture has taught us that that is our role and that those outer things are the things that will bring us peace and fulfillment and soul satisfaction and a feeling of living a high quality of life and a nourished life. And yet, what I witness every day is that some of the most accomplished, successful individuals often feel empty inside. Isn't there more to this? We are taught, go to the right schools, get married, have children, have families, have our kids go to the right schools, be all, into that. And yet we ourselves, inside of ourselves, we're doing so much for so many others that we can just often feel alone and somewhat empty and still looking for meaning. Ralph Waldo Emerson says and so much research has been done now in our culture, the majority of individuals in life are actually living a life of quiet desperation. And I feel that that is one of my missions and purposes of being on planet Earth, are to gather and gift anyone that is inside of yourself just doing so much on the outside to care for so many others. I think those individuals are deserving of what does it feel like to give yourself permission to be restored, to rest, to be rejuvenated, to feel nourished, that you can truly, when you get to the end of your life, that you will look back and you will say, I really lived a rich quality of life, both inside of myself and with the others around me. And I don't know if you all share this with me, but I also witness in individuals that it feels like such a luxury to give ourselves permission to care for our own self or receive and feel like we can receive nourishment from someone else. It actually feels luxurious to take an hour in the middle of a day and receive nourishment from someone else, or give yourself permission in the middle of a day to go out and take a walk in nature, to live a truly luxurious life. We women can have tears, can feel emotions, can feel sensitive, and nothing can be wrong. There was nothing wrong. There was nothing anyone needed to do, nothing anyone needed to fix. She needed that. Her soul needed that release, and she gave that to her soul. And so this is the quality, this is the energy that I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about giving ourselves permission. And today, specifically, it's going to be about giving yourself permission simply to receive today. And so I want to move us into a guided practice. For those of you who are new to my teachings, I love using music. I love using poetry. I believe that music is something that assists us to move from the mind into the heart. And I believe that the heart is the place where our wisdom lies. And so your heart right now, when we're talking about living a life with a truly nourished soul, your heart is your North Star. Your heart is your wisdom. And again, in culture, especially now with AI, we're living in an information age on steroids. And there's a place for information, there's a place for AI, but the culture in which we live dictates to us, tells us to live in the mind, to be thinking about the next thing we need to do after this time, or the thing that you might not be doing during this time that you should be doing. The culture in which we live in indoctrinates us to believe that the mind has more value than the heart. And what we do has more value than who we are. And I will tell you, when you get to the end of your life and you're looking back at your life, you will not be valuing what you did over who you are. You will be asking, what was the quality of my inner life? What was the quality of the relationships with those I'm closest to? Did I even give myself the permission to rest, have a deep connection with those in my family, those in my work? So this time of giving yourself that permission to receive during this time is so important because it helps create the muscle that will then help you go back into your life and give yourself that permission, that spaciousness, because culture is not going to encourage you to go take care of your heart. Culture is not going to give you permission to go take care of your soul, your inner being, because culture wants you to buy the next thing that you think you need. Culture really likes you to think that something's wrong and broken inside of you. And culture really wants you to be exhausted and live in an exhausted state. Culture is not going to be the place that's going to encourage you to live a really luxurious life. And by luxurious life, I don't mean an expensive life, because this time together hopefully can nourish you and take you through your weekend and aliven and enliven and activate and awaken places within you. You know, when my son was young, that's when I awakened to how important it was for me to nourish my soul, because I found myself doing everything for him and everything for Jamie, and it was to my own detriment. So I was giving to the detriment of me. The saying, the cliche that everyone's heard, I was giving from an empty cup. I experienced myself as exhausted. I experienced myself as impatient. I experienced an edge in my energy, a harshness in my tone of voice. I experienced like a rushing of my son. And here he's in this magical state of his life where he's looking at butterflies and he thinks there's fairies that are in our garden and he's searching for them. And he's in the place that actually all of us are seeking to return back to. And he's still residing in that place, that magical space. And I found myself hurrying him out of it, hurrying him away from it, in subtle ways and in not so subtle ways. Bath time became more important. Brushing his teeth became more important. Getting him in bed at a certain time. Getting to school on time. All of these things that are important. But my exhaustion and my overwhelm were having me communicate in a way to him. I was not liking the way I was showing up. It wasn't the woman that I wanted to be. And so that put me on a path because I too felt at the time guilty. When you start giving yourself permission to radically shift your life, radically, I mean radically, that you don't know how much time you have left in your life. You might have a day, you might have a month, you might have a decade, you might have 5 more decades. We don't know. And so when you make a decision to say, I don't know how much time I have left in my life, but you know what I am going to do? I'm going to live from a resourced place. That is the one thing I do have dominion and control over. I'm going to resource myself so that I have an overflow, so that I give from my overflow. Again, culture is not going to encourage you to do that. Also, in my humble opinion, it takes so much bravery and so much courage to live in our culture and come from a place where you are the one that walks in to all the different areas of your life and you are the one that is refreshed and restored and recalibrated and joyful and inspired because you have nourished yourself first. We get so many accolades for being overwhelmed and exhausted. Culture doesn't give you the accolades for being inspired and refreshed and restored. And so I used to feel very self-conscious when I walked in to my group of mom friends and they were all exhausted. There was a period when I would walk in and I would kind of pretend that I too was exhausted because that was my way of belonging and relating. Oh, I'm so exhausted too. It took a real act of courage and bravery to be the one in my mom group or in my friend group where it's like, no, I'm actually resourced. I actually take care of myself first. I actually give myself permission to do the things that restore me. And I was afraid of what people would think about me. And what I found and what I promise you, you will find as well, is that the people in your world want that exactly. The people in your world that are around you, they want the permission to be the one to be restored and recalibrated and inspired and thriving and leading with joy and inspiration and creativity and prosperity, enthusiasm, not overwhelm, not exhaustion. Of course, we get overwhelmed and exhausted and life happens, but I'm talking about a way of life where you are brave enough, courageous enough, and willing to be the one. I guarantee you there are generational patterns in your family of origin. You are the anointed one. You are the one that is meant. Or maybe there's patterning in your work culture, and your work culture is saying the one who works 60 hours a week is the one that's going to get all the accolades. And you are the one that walks into your work situation and you are like, you know what? I am giving myself permission to live out the rest of my life from a different paradigm. I believe in being nourished. I believe in being rested, restored. You owe it not only to your own soul, but I felt like I owed it to my family, my coworkers, my colleagues. I serve at the Agape International Spiritual Center. I serve on the board of trustees there. And I have come to know that I feel I owe it. I want to bring the best of myself there. I want everyone around me to get the best of me. Well, to do that, I need to nourish me in order to bring the best of me. And I believe that this paradigm shift is for you, or you would not be here. So as we do move into this guided process, this is a song called Maybe I Am. I love that it has the words I am in it. I'm going to read you the lyrics. It's a song that my husband wrote with his songwriting partner, Gary Lynn Floyd. And not only is it a beautiful song with relevant lyrics, not only do their voices, to me anyway, if you don't even listen to the words and you just allow their voices to wash over you, I want you to, as you begin to close your eyes, I want you to just begin to get in touch with the ways, get in touch with the place inside of you that maybe has been giving so much to so many. And that part of you, she just needs a rest right now. She just deserves to get to hear a beautiful song right now. She just deserves to see what it's like to feel that she can receive, that she doesn't have to be the doer of all things just for this hour. She gets to receive during this time. And so the lyrics go like this. Maybe I am in the right place. Maybe I am not alone. Maybe there's more than I'm feeling, and maybe my soul knows what I'm here for. Maybe I do have all the answers. Maybe I can follow through. Maybe my prayers have direction, and maybe this path led me to you. I will trust life's unfolding. I will trust in the flow. I must drink from this cup. Maybe my heart knows what my soul chose. What if I am more than memories? What if I am not my pain? What if I can turn it all around, breaking the bonds of my family's chains? We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we've been sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Maybe I am like the Buddha. Maybe my mind knows the Christ. Maybe I can walk on water, rolling the stone to rise to my highest self. Maybe our hearts know what our souls chose. Maybe our hearts grow what our soul knows. So just allow the feeling, the spirit of the song to wash over you.
not alone. Maybe there's more than I'm feeling. Maybe my soul knows what I'm here for. Maybe I have all the answers. Maybe I can follow through. Maybe my prayers have direction. Maybe this path led me to you. I will trust life unfolding. I will trust in the flow. If I must drink from this cup, maybe my heart knows what my soul chose. What if I am more than memories? What if I am not my pain? What if I can't
So I want you to just gently keep your eyes closed and just envision your heart so full, so fulfilled, so nourished. What does it feel like when your heart is so nourished, so full? Just allow yourself to feel soul satisfied inside of yourself, that there is a rich quality of life. It's calling you. It's not more external, it's a richer internal. What if you lived in a very rich internal state of consciousness? What if your inner state was rested, connected, restored, calibrated? What if your inner state felt peaceful and calm? What if your inner state felt healthy with a sense of well-being, aliveness? What if you felt an internal state, a flow state, and you recognize that there's a river of energy and it's here for you? And it so wants for you to receive all the good, all the richness. It doesn't come from this world. It comes from a state of resourcing yourself and allowing yourself to listen to your heart, to your soul, what your heart knows, what your soul knows. And when you give that to yourself, you begin to experience and live from an inner, luxurious state of being. Imagine, envision that you were giving yourself the permission to live from this inner state. And as you're envisioning this, you just begin to see, oh my gosh, how my inner state would change my outer state. Oh my gosh, a rich, nourished inner state. How would that assist me to bring that into all the different outer states, outer areas, outer relationships? How would they change? Who would you be? What would you bring to these people and places and situations and experiences? Who would you be bringing to your partner or your child? Who would you be bringing to your workplace or your purpose? Imagine your coworkers. Who would they be experiencing when you show up in your nourished state? How would your life change? And just allow yourself to see, are you willing to step in and embody that aspect of your being? And then lastly, just before you open your eyes, I want you to have the insight, the realization, and the recognition that this is all about your sense of your own worthiness, your own sense of worth. You are worthy. And to the degree that you see yourself, identify yourself as worthy, is to the degree that you are going to allow yourself to make this deep paradigm shift, to live no longer from a place of overgiving to your own detriment, but to receive so that you can be the individual that you are called here to be, so you can live the soul-satisfied, soul-fulfilled life. Your life is precious. Your life is fleeting. Your life is to be treasured. You are to be treasured. And you are worthy of this distinction. You are worthy of this way of life. You are worthy of this lifestyle. And all the people around you deserve to get to see the best of you. And so just allow yourself to embody. I'm going to step into my sense of worth. I'm going to step into my sense of worth. I'm going to embody my sense of worth. I'm going to integrate my sense of worth. I'm going to meet my own sense of worthiness, and I'm going to live from that state of worthiness. And it might start as something as simple as taking a walk in a park today, or listening to this recording when you receive it over and over and over again, or maybe just listening to Jamie's song again. It starts with a small decision. And then one decision becomes the next decision. But it is a decision to live from your deepest state of self-worth. Whenever you feel that, whenever you connect to that, just take a moment to gently open your eyes. This is the seed. This is the beginning. This is a seed that you want to nurture, that you want to water, you want to plant it, you want to give it fertile soil, you want to tend to it regularly so that it blossoms into a beautiful, flourishing plant. It blossoms into a beautiful, flourishing garden. I said to you all, I started this when my son was really young because I wanted to show up for him in a particular way. And I have, and I do. And what I found, and you will find this too, that not only will that plant start to flourish, not only did my inner relationship and consequently my relationship with Will start to flourish, but every area of my life started to flourish. Every area, my marriage, I can't even tell you, my marriage was significantly enriched. My marriage shifted. My whole practice began to thrive. I just started living from a different place inside, saying that I'm not going to live out my life depleted, self-deprecating, self-deprived. And when I gave that and started living that way, small decision, a boundary here, a boundary there, a permission to say no rather than yes when I was tired, a permission to let someone go out of my life if they couldn't understand I was saying no and needed to rest. Now those around me, if I or someone in my colleague group, friend group, student group, client group, if any one of us says, that's why I'm never encouraging you, oh, everybody's got to put on your cameras, because maybe somebody is here watching today and you're in your pajamas and you just don't feel okay to show us your pajamas. But I think that would get the highest acknowledgement. That would get the 10 plus. Maybe you're multitasking and this is the best you can do to give yourself permission to receive. I just want you to receive. I just want you to stretch your capacity to receive. I want you to stretch the permission that you have, a certain permission level right now to receive. And what I want you, before we leave here, I want the ceiling of whatever is the top ceiling that you have of receiving. I want that ceiling. I want you to break through that ceiling so that you have a greater capacity to receive. And it's, as I said in the experiential process, that is a direct connection to your sense of worth. So I'm going to read some of these and then I'm going to talk about your sense of worth, the way you identify yourself or as worthy or not worthy, and how this practice, it can do nothing but enhance your sense of worthiness. So some of what you all are taking with you: energized, peace, nurturing this inner space creates the outer space you seek. Inner nourishment has been felt here during Suzi's class. Also, the word inspired, one of my favorite qualities. If I can live inspired and can inspire just one person, I'm good for the day. Being in agreement with other women about learning to rest, receive, or allowing ourselves to nurture first, then to nurture others from this new come from. I love this. I love this. When someone in my, colleague group or someone will say, I just can't make that meeting today. I just feel like I need to, go rest or go work out or go to the park. I'm going to miss the meeting. Or can we do that hour meeting in only 45 minutes, And then we all have 15 minutes to go, get a cup of tea. I always do just simple, 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 simple things like that. I made a chai tea latte before this class, even though I haven't drunk any of it. Just those seemingly simple things. Like in my classes this week, I was showing you guys how my son always drinks out of like the nice. So now I just always have the nice glasses. It's the simple things, but it's a way of life. It's not a one off. The one off is when we're all going to get exhausted and feel overwhelmed and anxious at different times. There is nothing more soul satisfying than being of true service to another individual on earth. When we are of true service, it's very soul fulfilling. And though when you're truly serving, you're serving from an overflow. It isn't true serving when you're depleted. If you are here, it is because you are seeking to live that kind of life that chooses. You're seeking to live a quality of life that isn't chasing after something, but is comfortable being something that allows the life that you are seeking to be attracted to you. Like nourishing this inner space creates the outer space that you're seeking. So every one of us is seeking. We our souls are unique, and we've come here to live a certain quality of life that is very specific to your soul and your soul and your soul. And no one else would be fulfilled by the life that you're here to live. And the way to ensure that you live that life and allow that life to be created from the inside out of you rather than chasing a life that will, even at its best, as he said in the writing, even at its best, will leave you only temporarily on high. You can check all the external boxes and maybe you'll forgo for a moment, but it's back to what I was saying about really learning to connect with an energy inside of you of self-worth. When we slow down enough, we really are able to be sensitive. We're sensitive beings. And so then we can be sensitive to the meaning of something or just be grateful for a relationship in a deep sense. When you commit to living a nourished life from the inside out of you as a way of life, you will connect to a place of worthiness inside of you, and it will put you in a position to choose rather than chase after. And that is a brilliant distinction of a place of consciousness in which to live. I'm living in a state of consciousness where it's not about chasing after, it's not about willpowering, it's not about efforting. It's a place of nourishing. All the hearts for all the love, for the synchronicities. This is what happens. This is what happens when you just give yourself permission to nourish your soul. All sorts of unexpected synchronicities happen. All right, so much love, everyone. Thanks.